CBS Sports suggests that Bronny James' best bet is to play for USC. We have three major media outlets listing the Dodgers' top prospects, and so a consensus is developing over who contributes, and LAFC starts to fill its roster. But it's not exactly Christmas. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is January 27, 2023. I want to start off by thanking the new subscriber who joined the Angelino Familia. I appreciate every last one of you. We're trying to build something here, spread the gospel of LA sports. And if you like the content that we put out, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yeah, comment. I travel a lot. I can't wait to get back home. But until then, I got you guys to hang with. So before we go through the news and notes from around LA sports, quick look at the scoreboard. Terrific rally for the Trojans basketball team yesterday. They take the LA rivalry game from UCLA 77-64. 8th ranked UCLA, I might add. Boogie Ellis scores 31 points, 27 of them in the second half. Terrific night for the Trojans. Also, Paul George scores 35 points, Kawhi Leonard adds 27, Clippers 138, San Antonio 100. Meanwhile today, the Kings are in Florida. That game's at 4 o'clock. If the Kings win, they could end the night leading the Pacific Division. I still find that win last night by the Trojans remarkable. The Trojans rally from a double-digit deficit. And don't get me wrong, it's not like UCLA got their heads kicked in or anything. I mean, they had a double, but it felt that way. It felt that way because they had a double-digit lead in the first half and they lose by double digits. Mick Cronin has to be losing his mind privately over that, just seething over it. Jaime Jaquez Jr. scores 15 points for the Bruins, but I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of defensive fundamentals back in Westwood for the next couple of days. More to the point about USC basketball, are you like me? You know Andy Enfield can recruit. But every time USC lands a decent recruiter, you're like, really? USC? Didn't go to UCLA? Really? And that might turn out to be the case with LeBron James' son, Bronny. According to CBS Sports, and Bronny, by the way, limited his list to 4 schools. He put USC on that list. CBSSports.com believes USC is the best fit. So why? Well, one is proximity. Galen Center is like 10 minutes from Crypto.com Arena, even when you factor in LA traffic. 2, Enfield has been courting the kid since 2018. What was he then? 12? 13? Right? Number 3, while it is true that USC needs a big man as a presence on defense, you think about the Mobley twins from back in the day, you think about Vince Iwuchukwu right now, the Trojans need multiple guards who shoot, who create, who push the floor, and that does fit in to Bronny James' skill set. I mean, look at Boogie Ellis last night. Struggled in the first half, but 31 points overall, 27 of them came in the second half. So he found himself some room to create, and he took advantage of it. So, yeah, USC apparently is a big possibility. The writer ranks Oregon at number 2 because of Oregon's resources. Probably what that means is the contract that Oregon has with Nike. Ohio State, LeBron James' favorite school as a kid growing up, was ranked at number 3. But Bronny James' best fit, according to some sports writers, is USC. MLB Pipeline has released its top 100 prospects list. 7 Dodgers made that list. 7. Now, 6 were named in Baseball America's list. 9 of them were named in Baseball Prospectus. So because of these 3 major publications listing the top 100 recruits and having multiple Dodgers on them, we can start to get an idea of who could contribute really quickly for LA, especially when you consider that the Dodgers dropped salary a lot over the offseason. We're looking at the next generation of Dodgers theoretically coming up. The highest, however, I don't think he's going to be playing this year with LA. That's catcher Diego Cartaya at 14. The reason being, of course, the Dodgers are pretty stacked at catcher. Anybody ever hear of Will Smith, right? Other people that are on that list include pitcher Bobby Miller at 24th, Miguel Vargas at 37. We're going to talk about Vargas in just a moment. Michael Busch is 54th, and Gavin Stone 56, Ryan Pepio 70. Andy Pages is the only guy on the list whose ranking fell. Andy Pages being an outfielder, he dipped from 68 to 100. That's a red flag. I don't know why he dropped that low, but that's a red flag. So out of those 7 that I listed, I would probably say that Miguel Vargas and Ryan Pepio are the ones who are most likely to contribute in a major way with LA next year. Pepio already pitched for LA multiple times last year, for example. The reason being, of course, you had injuries to Kershaw, you had injuries to Gonsolin, etc. The Dodgers are always in need of a 6th quality starting pitcher, and Pepio was their spot starter. Miguel Vargas ranked 37th. He is expected to start the year in LA. They just don't know necessarily where. He could be the heir apparent to Justin Turner at 3rd. Maybe they put him at 2nd. No idea just yet. Michael Busch is also an interesting story. We mentioned about how Andy Pages dropped. Busch did not drop. He went up to 54. There's a problem, though. Despite the fact that he is a first-round pick for LA, despite the fact that he's hitting the daylights out of the ball all across the minor leagues, multiple sports writers wonder if there is going to be a place for him in the majors with the Dodgers. In other words, is he the most likely candidate among Dodger elite players to be traded? He currently ranks as a second baseman, but again, Vargas might wind up playing second base. Chris Taylor might wind up playing second base. Gavin Lux, etc. So we don't necessarily know where to look there. We'll have to wait and see. LAFC have signed midfielder Daniel Crisotomo and goalkeeper Abraham Romero. Both played for their USL affiliate last year, the Las Vegas Lights, and I find the moves a bit curious. I think they'll both be getting playing time. I don't doubt that. LAFC is literally paper thin in midfield. But here's the dirty little secret about those 2 transactions. The story they don't want to tell you. Las Vegas Lights suck. They've been around for 6-7 years in USL. The USL playoff structure is very similar to MLS. Lots and lots of teams qualify. The Las Vegas Lights stink. They have never, ever qualified for USL playoffs. And now you're sitting there trying to tell me that Crisotomo is going to be a playmaker as a reserve? That this is your substitute now that you traded away Latif Blessing to New England? That's a bit of an ask for people to believe, don't you think? And I get it, Romero, you need somebody else to pick up some playing time in net with Maxime Crepeau getting injured in MLS Cup last year. But I'm here to tell you, out of all the names that you hear bandied about with LAFC, remember last year they added Christian Tello, they added Gareth Bale, they just went nuts. This does not exactly have that let's unwrap Christmas toys on the morning kind of vibe to it. Yesterday marked the 3rd anniversary of the death of Kobe Bryant. Multiple players took to social media to pay homage to the Black Mamba, whether it be by the drip that they were wearing. Yes, I just used the word drip. I'm 55 years old. I still keep up with the old lingo, guys. The drip they were wearing that had Kobe's face on it or whatever. But me, I must say, I tell you, I have a very odd story about learning about his death. We all loved Kobe, myself included. I found out about his death in Houston, of all places. I was going to the Royal Rumble. Obviously, I do like wrestling. I was going to go see the Royal Rumble, and knowing it was in Houston. And I was completely decked out, head to toe, in Dodgers gear. The cap, the jersey, the whole nine, because I wanted to talk crap to all Houstonites about them stealing the effing World Series a few years ago. Even had a white placard with an orange asterisk on it. I get out, I'm talking my smack, some chubby lady grabs my sign, tears it into a million pieces, gets in my face, my phone buzzes. Oh, well, that's an update I didn't want to read. I mean, talk about a buzzkill, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make it about me per se. But man, when you're out there and you're trying to represent LA, and the next thing you know, an icon of the entire city has passed, that's a bit of a gut punch. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it was a gut punch for many of you. Absolutely. Just a very strange afternoon for me out in Houston, Texas. Lakers' Dennis Schrader was stopped by LAPD Wednesday night. Now, I need to be clear about this. I don't know if he was stopped, if he was the driver of the car, or if he was simply a passenger and the other guy was pulled over. It was allegedly for having improper plates. Somebody got a ticket. Nothing happened with Mr. Schrader. They all drove off. Everybody had a whatever kind of night. You know, nobody likes getting a ticket, but at least we're not blowing up things with stories about Schrader getting arrested. So there's that. And improper plates. I think we've all heard that story before with the police, haven't we? Former Chargers linebacker Jesse Lemonnier, who played for both the Bolts and the Lions, has died. He was 25. He died on Thursday. The poor man had a child on the way, man. That is tough stuff. He was originally signed by the Chargers as an undrafted free agent back in 2020. He played 6 games with the Bolts. Then he bounced around for a little bit. In his very last game, and by the way, in his last year with the Lions, he started like 4 games. In his last game, earlier this month, he sacked Aaron Rodgers. But if you are a Chargers fan, feel free to light a candle, say a prayer. That is tough stuff. His girlfriend has a baby on the way. Jesse Lemonnier, dead at the age of 25. The Chargers have interviewed Luke Steckel for the open offensive coordinator position. That is the 5th man that the Chargers have interviewed. He is the tight end coach for Tennessee. It kind of makes sense that the Chargers would want to talk with him, not because his offense is particularly innovative, but Tennessee does like to run the ball, and that was a massive problem for LA last year. They have yet to speak with Bills quarterback coach Joe Brady, nor have they yet to schedule any return interviews to try to make up their mind. We mentioned USC basketball earlier. The Trojans football team has made a little bit of news. The top recruit in the country, a quarterback from Chandler, Arizona, Dylan Raiola, will visit this weekend. He is making, his ranking, miswrote it down. His ranking of the #1 recruit in the country is from a group called On3. Now, as you might imagine, the reason, it's kind of obvious. He wants to chat with Lincoln Riley, figure out if Riley can get this guy on the fast track to the NFL. Also with the Trojans, offensive lineman Jason Rodriguez has retired from football. He did so on a social media post on Monday. He simply, I'm not trying to clown the man. He's got a long life ahead of him. He simply didn't make a spot for himself, didn't get in the rotation, either a tackle or guard. And he saw the writing on the wall. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Should Bronny James choose USC? Do you see other prospects who can make a dent for the Dodgers this year? And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports each and every day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.